Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the ranking member as well. I want to thank each of the witnesses for being here today, and I want to extend a particular welcome to the family members of the 67 crash victims who are here today for this hearing. I've met with many of you since the crash, and each of you have my very deepest condolences for your unimaginable loss. The crash involving American Airlines Flight 5342 and the Army Black Hawk helicopter was preventable. It didn't have to happen. And I want you to know that I am committed to using the power of this committee to determine if any policy failures led to this crash and making certain that Congress acts to correct them. This accident marks the first time a commercial crash in the United States has led to mass fatalities in over 15 years. While America's national airspace system has kept Americans safe for decades, this critical juncture shows that more action must take place to enhance the safety of our system. The hearing today will examine the factors leading up to the mid-air collision 300 feet above the Potomac River. Whether the Army's practice of disabling NTSB out is a glaring safety concern. Whether the FAA missed warning signs with thousands of instances where helicopters and commercial aircraft at DCA came too close to colliding. Whether the communications between the air traffic controller and both of the pilots of the American Airlines flight and the Black Hawk helicopter was inadequate. The families of the American Airlines Flight 5342 victims deserve answers. Congress deserves answers. And the American flying public deserves answers to these important questions. The NTSB does terrific work. I'm grateful to Chairman Jennifer Homendy and her team for their thorough investigation of this accident. The preliminary report being discussed today is factual. It does not include analysis, nor does it include findings. It is just one step in what will be a lengthy and ongoing investigation. This committee will closely follow how that investigation proceeds and look forward to the NTSB's full findings. Some actions, however, cannot wait. Aviation safety is dependent on what is called the Swiss cheese model. Each layer of cheese represents a defense against an identified risk, building redundancy into the system to plug holes and prevent accidents. After decades of advancements, the U.S. aviation system has been held up worldwide as the gold standard of safety. The FAA's air traffic organization depends on thousands of talented air traffic controllers, hundreds of millions of dollars in annual investments to sustain technologies used to operate the air system, and billions more invested in technologies and facilities across the system. Even with these significant investments, the air traffic system is failing. Facilities, which are falling apart, are short-staffed, and projections show that the shortages will last for years. Over the weekend, the NOTAM system broke down for a third time in just 2 years. Congress has provided tens of millions of dollars in the past two years to modernize the NOTAM system, and it has broken down already twice this calendar year. President Trump and Secretary Duffy have pledged to take action to improve the air traffic control system. I plan to lead this committee in passing legislation to do the same. We must provide resources for the needed short, medium, and long-term improvements that chart the path to success and sustainment for the air traffic system. Earlier this week, I issued a call to aviation stakeholders for specific ideas to improve the air traffic system. I asked for concrete proposals, taking nothing off the table prematurely to make sure that whatever resources and authorities Congress provides to the administration will make a lasting difference. My proposal will complement the Trump administration's forthcoming plan. What the tragedy of Flight 5342 shows us is that it is never too early to act to improve aviation safety. I want to thank the families of the victims for taking your enormous grief and channeling it into energy, channeling it into advocacy, channeling it into standing up and speaking out for other families flying on other flights, fighting for them so they don't have to endure the grief and loss that each of you is enduring. It is my hope that we can spend the coming months in the wake of this tragedy working seriously to plug safety gaps and to ensure that an accident of this magnitude never happens again. Thank you.
Chairman Cruz, thank you for your opening remarks.